Hello, this is Lucy's Angel Messages. I've been guided to put this message on with me in front of the camera by Archangel Michael, just to talk about some of my experiences that I've had recently, and the reason why protection is so important for the light workers right now. Archangel Michael has been really helping me a lot with a lot of experiences that I've had recently, to do with a lot of dark force activity, as we all know is going on in the world right now, during this global age of Aquarius. Now that, it might not seem it, but the light has won. Behind the scenes there's a lot of clearing out of the dark forces throughout the world. This is what the archangels are showing me, and they're all being cleared out, so that's all being taken care of. But they're still trying to get us in so many little ways, which I've experienced, and it's not to scaremonger, it's just basically to help with my experiences, that the angels have shown me how I can clear my energy out when I am receive some form of attack in some way. So I'm just sharing my experiences because I just feel like there needs to be more guidance, more help out there. So the archangels, well, all of them really, Archangel Michael in particular, can help us to clear out any fears that we have. Now, as a protection, you probably already know all this, but I'm just being guided to share what I do. So in the mornings when I wake up, the first thing I do is I put the diamond white light around myself. It's a barrier, but it protects us sort of from others' auras, energy fields, because obviously as big light workers, we've got larger auras. That's how, how it works. The more ascended you are, the more higher your conscious levels are, the larger your aura. Now this is the feeling body. So this is what we're working with, the feeling body, which is the heart, from the heart, not the emotion body, which is from the ego, our fears. But that's great because that can help us to clear out fears and stuff. But what the angels are showing is working with the feeling body. So being more about how we feel, because this is the fifth dimension. So it's working with our intuition. It's guiding us to what's safe for us to go on, what isn't safe. So as I say, every morning the guidance is to put the white light around us, and it's the diamond white light now, is a new light that's come into Earth since the awakening this year, from the galactics, and it is a powerful protection. Because of course we feel everything, as we're all, collectively one in a sense, our God and our God self, as I'm sure you know. So obviously when we're around people and we're all in and out of the third dimension fears, into the fourth dimension, into the fifth dimension, we're kind of the light workers going in and out of different realities. I myself could be feeling really great in bliss 1 minute, and then boom, along comes a fear, and boof. It's like the higher I go, the low, some more sort of lower I can go as well. But that I'm shown as well as the Kundalini rising. Now, many of us are opening out the Kundalini rising, the energy up the chakras. And so sometimes it can go the wrong way, which I've experienced, and it's not pleasant. I don't know whether everybody else experienced this, but it should go this way, but if it goes the other way, sometimes it can do that because of a fear. Now, what I'm shown is that it's dark forces, however they do, whatever they do, they basically know our frequencies, what frequency we're on, and there's so many things I'm sure out there. In many ways they can get us, from satellites to you name it, whatever, they're getting us in many ways. But the good thing is that we can protect ourselves. And we can always ask for help when we need it. So the most important thing is to how do we feel, and if something doesn't feel right, then we can change that, we can clear that. We've got all the tools we need. So when I experienced the Kundalini going the wrong way, it was very strong emotions, but we can set our intentions once we become aware of it. If you experience that yourself, it's very strong fear though. Like it's the opposite to the Kundalini rising, which is an amazing feeling I feel in a bliss state. It's the other way, but it's through the emotional body, the emotions, which is a 3D reality. And when I've experienced that, it's been very overpowering, strong emotions, and I didn't know what it was until the Archangel Michael explained it. Now, what they can do, the angels, if you have experienced that yourself, they can make sure that it's going the right way. Because once we start opening up to our 12-strand chakra DNA, we're opening more out to the Kundalini, which is an amazing experience, and it should be that, and I know is a fear thing, but that is the way it is. But only with interference from the dark forces does this happen. But the good news is this is, as I say, all being cleared out. It just takes time. So in the meantime, I'm just sharing my experiences so that, if you ever experience this yourself, then, we can do something about it. We're just calling the archangels, and Archangel Michael will help that to the Kundalini to go the right way. So it's an amazingly wonderful feeling in the feeling body, the heart. So another thing I've experienced is the force light. So I'm just sure you're aware the dark forces are on the internet, and that's what their name is, the dark forces. The dark web, because I've heard other people mention it. Now, Archangel Michael says, what I've experienced is force white light. So I've experienced it twice. And once was through some music, on a YouTube video. And I don't want to scare people, but just be aware of what you're going on is my advice, because when I went on this song, it felt like a really good, but my intuition was a bit I'm not sure about this. I experienced a high. That's what the false white light is. You experience a high, you feel great, but then it's to bring you back down to a low. It's like in the emotions, the fears, the 3D. And that's another way they can get us. But the good thing is, as I say, we've got our intuition, our inner knowing, and that is guiding us as to what to go on and what to not to go on. But when I went onto that site, I experienced a feeling of incredibly feeling down and low. So I was aware, wow, this is a bit weird. So it's being aware of it. This is why the angels are making us aware. If knowledge is power, I think I went on something that was the false light. It stays in our aura. So what Archangel Michael will do will clear it out. So if you're in any doubt, you just ask Archangel Michael, Saint Germain, to bring his violet flame, and he will clear out our energy fields. All we're doing is spring cleaning. So we have all the tools that we need. That's the message. We've got all the tools we need. The light always wins over the dark. I'm just sharing this, not fear-mongering, but just so, people can protect themselves, to clear out our energy field, clear our aura. It's like we clean everything. I always laugh and go, we always clear everything, don't we? We clean, we dust. Do we clear out our aura? Well, we do need to clear out our aura, because otherwise it gets dark and heavy and damp, and and we need to keep clearing it out. Archangel Michael's constantly saying to me, Lucy, clear your energy field out, clear your energy field out. So I'm just sharing, it's really quick and easy. And then you feel so much better afterwards. And after I cleared out the false light, I was like, wow, yeah, I'm back to myself now. Great. So we've got all these tools, that we need. Another thing I just wanted to make people aware of is that I was waking up every morning a few weeks ago, I noticed for a month or so. I wasn't sure what it was. I thought, it was things I was growing through and stuff. But I thought, no, it's every morning I feel like I've woken up with a hangover. I was feeling like I went to bed fine. That was my sign. I went to bed fine, and yeah, sometimes we hear things in dream state, and I did, and I'm not always saying I had a great night's sleep, but this was different. I was waking up feeling almost feeling like something had happened to me in dreams. I couldn't quite put my finger on what it was. And I mentioned it to a friend, and she said she'd experienced similar things, and another friend had actually experienced seeing the dark, being attacked by the dark forces in the astral planes, because this is what they can do with the portals Unfortunately, they've opened the other dark forces ones, because they're not the portals of the light. They've opened dark forces ones, which I should say are being closed down now, because that's what all's going on behind the scenes, you know. And I've been working with the angels to close some myself. So as I'm doing it, lots of people are doing it. We're working on clearing out, you know, these dark forces on Earth, these dark portals. So it's good news, but it's just to be aware of, if, you know, we experience it yourself, with the dark portals, like, as I say, because entities can come through from other realms. Unfortunately, you know, that shouldn't actually happen on Earth, but it does happen on Earth because of these portals that are opening. And the same thing with ghosts. You know, ghosts are, because of the portals being open, trapped in different timelines and dimensions. So that's the same thing. But equally, I also work with the angels to send them to the light, as a lot of other people do, so that we're sending them to the light, you know. And that's the good news. You know, so much work has been carried out to put all this right, you know. I say right, you know, put the light, to go to the light, to go to God, because they're not at peace, you know, ghosts, when they're, you know, in these trap states. And, you know, I know myself, when, like, I've worked with the angels, and it's Archangel Azrael who sends them to the light. He works his magic. They come back afterwards and they say how grateful they are to be reunited with all their loved ones, you know, in the light. And often they really come back and they're so grateful, and often they don't want to go, which is the funniest thing. Some of them can be really resistant, you know, because they are trapped entities in realms, and that, you know, they can be in states of fear, of anger, particularly, you know. I'm not going to go. And then, like, once they've gone, they come back and go, thank you, I'm reunited with my loved ones. So this sort of stuff shouldn't go on, apparently. The angels all say to me, it's only because of the distortions, you know, of the portals, and the timelines and things, you know. So, but I find it fascinating. I hope you find it interesting as well. But, like, going back to sleep state, because I'm diversifying, going back to sleep state. So if we're waking up in the morning, and I was like waking up, say like I'd had a hangover, but no alcohol involved. So, like, I asked Archangel Michael, and he showed me that I was, we're doing light work, obviously the light workers, we're doing that in sleep state, astral traveling. I'm sure you've heard that, astral planes. And unfortunately, of course, the portals can get us there as well. Sometimes, not always, you know, but the more light we are, the more the dark is attracted to us. Unfortunately, as we, you know, ascend, they're trying to damp us down, but they're not winning. We've got all the tools we need, and the Archangel Michael will always keep us safe. So every night before I go to bed, I ask Archangel Michael to keep me safe. He says that we can go through an etheric body to the great central sun, because that's God's source. You know, I can, like, travel like that. We all can if we want to. We don't have to go through the astral planes. So I ask him to do that for me. But I guess the most important thing is, I would say, if you experience the same yourself, is just please ask Archangel Michael to keep you safe, because he will keep you safe. That is the most important thing, that we're kept safe. And then I wake up every morning, I should say now, and I feel like, you know, I might have the odd rough night or whatever, but, you know, on the whole, I wake up and I just feel like, wow, like a different person, like I'm getting a really good night's sleep, because I wasn't before, you know. It's just really bad quality sleep. So just, you know, to mention that you might be experiencing that yourself. And I'm just really sharing all this just to help. The angels all guiding me to share whatever experiences I learn, as crazy as what they all sound, because a lot of them, like, just seem nuts. But once they're cleared out, and once we've cleared our energy fields, like, we've used these tools and techniques, I'm back to my great self, and that's validation I need. You know, my energy's high again, I'm feeling good once I've, like, used all these tools and techniques. So I'm just sharing them in case you've experienced anything yourself, and I'll be sharing more stuff as well, probably about entities and how they can become attached to us as well. But I'll be sharing that on the next video. So if you feel like want to share any experiences or any feedback or anything, you know, it will be greatly appreciated. So brightest blessings and love and light to you all from Archangel Michael and me, Lucy.